Well, hello everybody. So we're going to continue using our Adobe Illustrator to create some new things. So just to refresh our memory, when we open up our new document, we have our choices of a variety of aspect ratios. And just one thing to note, whenever you use these, it gives you the sort of unit of measurement that the whole page is going to be measured in over here. So basically, if it says pixels here, then it's going to measure all of your objects in pixels. So this here says pixels, print says points. Points are the units of measurement that are determined with your font. So if you have like a 12-point font, that's the default font for when you use Microsoft Word, so you can kind of put that in your head. Like 72 points is an inch. Film and video is a little bit different, so because it's basically meant to create stuff for motion graphics. So whenever you open it up, you don't really get a canvas, you just get a big transparency grid. And then art and illustration is also used for print, so it's also measured in points. I'm going to choose web, and I'm going to choose just a web large, just the normal 1920 by 1080 screen that we have right here. And we're going to create a little sort of a winter themed thing here with just some basic shapes. So let's go ahead and grab our ellipse tool, and let's hold down the shift key and create a circle here. And a great little thing we can do is, first off, let me go ahead and get rid of the fill or the stroke and put some fill up here. I'll make it like a sort of a dark blue here. One of the great things we can do with all this is that we can just, for instance, using our select tool up here, we can hold down the Alt key and reproduce things, and then resize them, and then instantly, bring them back to where they want to go, no matter where they're at. So for instance, over here, I might change this to red, and I'll get my select tool and just select both of these. And with our align tool, I can just bring them right back to center if I want to. So we talked before about the shape builder tool. The shape builder tool is right here. Be careful you don't hit the perspective grid tool. If you actually hit the perspective grid tool, all of your shapes that you draw are going to be latched on to this sort of perspective here. You see how like the circle looks like it's on this little wall. If I want to get rid of that, I have to hover over here. This tool has to be selected. Again, the perspective grid tool has to be selected, and we have to click this little X right here. So click on this little X. It's a tiny little thing, so be careful with that. And I'll just get rid of this. Anyways, let's select both of these shapes here, get our shape builder tool, hold down the Alt key, and just click in the middle there just to get rid of that. Now, the great thing about this is this is now a compound path. So this has, like, if I click on my little direct select tool, you can see we have two of these little lines kind of popping up here. So that's a lot of fun. If at any point you want to change the color of the lines of your path, you can go over here to layers and just click on this little, I think double click on the layer. Let's see here. And yeah, you can change the color, for instance, to light red, and now it becomes red. So that's a thing you can think of if you ever want to see this a little bit easier. Okay, so let's grab another circle here. I'm just going to hold down Shift and make a circle that's slightly smaller than the bigger circle, but slightly bigger than the smaller circle here. So just somewhere in between. And I'm going to click on this bigger circle. I'm going to get rid of the fill. I'm going to make the stroke red. And I'm going to bring the stroke up, say for instance 6. And I'm going over here to object. Let's go to effect. Effect. Let's think here. Path. Let's think here. Stylize. I want to say. How about warp? No, artistic. Like I want to say, there's a few things here. Is zigzag. Let's click on zigzag here, and if you look at zigzag, what you can do is you can click this little preview, and it starts to make these little tweaks to it. And I'm going to make sure this says smooth, and I'm going to set my size to around 10, my radius to about 4, and essentially what this does is it gives you this series of sort of wobbles here. So let's go ahead and just make this, this 7 and 9. That's probably good. Okay, and then we'll go over here to object, path, outline, stroke, which changes our stroke into a shape. And then from there, we can once again grab our shape builder tool, hold down the Alt key, and just click away at this little shape here. Oops, let me get real close. Right, and that sort of cuts out this little thing here. Let's do the same thing again. We'll grab our circle tool. I'm going to make it slightly bigger than the inner circle, but slightly smaller than the outer circle here. And we'll just maneuver all these together, and I'll get it in real close. Once again, I'll take out the fill. I'll put in a stroke, say for instance red. And I might make this a slightly bit bigger. Hold down the Shift and Alt key to size it up from the center and keep it constrained. Once again, effect, and you can just go to zigzag here. And in this case, I may want it to be a little bit fewer segments per ridges per segment, so maybe 3 or so. All right, that's probably good. And once again, I'll pull this stroke up a good deal. And so the stroke at this point is 5 pixels. Once again, object, path, and then outline, stroke, changing that into a shape. Scroll in real big, Shift M on the keyboard to get your shape builder tool. Right, just hold down the Alt key and click. And hey, look at that, we got ourselves a little donut. That's kind of fun. Let's add some sprinkles to it. Let's go ahead and get our rounded rectangle tool. Let's get it real close and just draw a little rounded rectangle, looks like a little sprinkle here. And I'm just gonna randomly grab this and just sort of hold down the Alt key and start sprinkling these around. Let me just real quick hold down Shift and select all these and make them red. And I'll just you know, kind of pull these through. Maybe I'm not gonna have a whole lot. You can add more if you'd like. All right, and I'm just gonna randomly sort of rotate them around some, just to give an idea of that they're so all random. And can't be too. So I'm just clicking on them and then sort of hovering right outside the corner to activate this little rotation tool. I think I want to avoid moving them all in the same direction here, so I'll make this one like sort of tilted this way, and this one maybe tilted this way as well. And I'll put this one right here. And so what's great about Adobe Illustrator is that it recognizes a variety of things. So if I have this one red sprinkle selected, and there's nothing else red, I can go over here to select, click on same, and click fill color. So now all the red things are selected, and I can just click over here, and I can just go over here. Instead of doing shape builder tool, which will be a little bit, would you say, kind of hard to do, I can go over here to the Pathfinder tool. If you don't see this, you can go to Window and click on Pathfinder and find this one little option that says -front, and that just takes away what's in the front. So hey, look at that, we got ourselves a little donut. And let's add a little bite out of it too. So let's go over here to our circle tool, and let's add a few circles on the sides here. And once again, I'm going to sort of change these to red so I can see them a bit better. Make it a bit bigger. Let's look here. All right, there's that. And then we'll just, actually we'll just select everything and get our shape builder tool, hold down the Alt key, and just, just run right through all these. And look at that. Now we've got ourselves a little bite out of our donut. That's fun. Okay, cool. And so what's a donut without coffee? So we'll just make ourselves a little coffee cup here. Let's make a little rectangle over here. Let's get our direct select tool, and let's grab one of the corners and just hold down Shift and drag it inwards. Same thing with the other one, just drag it inwards. And start, you can do your best to kind of make them as even as possible. Let's say that's a little bit more here. That's really good. And then I'll just Alt drag this, and I'll just sort of, with my select tool selected V on the keyboard, I'll make this a bit smaller, and I'll make it a bit bigger. Actually, I'm going to make A here, and I'll just kind of drag one of these corners in some. And I'll make this little sort of insulated handle they have for the coffee cups. And I'll just drag this in like so. That's good. And I'm going to make this red for just a second. Red. And then, or yellow, that's fine. And I'll go to Object, Path, and I'm going to say Offset Path, which is going to give me the option of just making it slightly bigger. And I'll use 10 pixels here, and then once again I'll just Shift and then select the other one, and let's get our shape builder tool and just Alt click in the center. And so now we should have this guy, and I can just grab this one and just hold on, click I on the keyboard, and now we've got our little scarf here. And let's add a couple of shapes on the top just to make the little lid. Here's one, and we can just hit our letter A on the keyboard and grab these little circular widgets here. Hold down Shift, grab the other one, and just curve that in slightly. And then we'll just reproduce this, Alt, drag this up, and then we'll make it a bit bigger as well. We'll grab our Move tool, make it a little bit taller, so that way we have our little lid. All right, and I'll just center everything here, making sure everything's centered. Okay. And that's good. Cool. Right, so we have a little coffee cup here. All right, neat. So let's go ahead and go to File, Export, and let's hit Export for Screens. And you can call this something like, coffee and donut. And then you can choose your folder that you want it to go to. I would choose your downloads. And then when you press Export Artboard, it's going to pop open this little folder here. And hey, look at that. This is your coffee and donut. Fantastic. All right, very cool. Can't wait to see you guys produce. Submit this to D2L as a JPEG.